A lot of you Africans been doing your DNA testing, right? And I'm still waiting for the pretendians to get their DNA. All my I ain't from Africa people, you have not taken the DNA test. I want to know why. All you pretendians, why are you not taking the DNA test? If you don't come from Africa, why can't you take the DNA test so we can know that you came from Mexico or California or Venezuela? You came from Montana. We need the pretendians to take the DNA tests. If you're so native to America and you're not from Africa, please take the DNA test. But we'll get back to the pretendians in a minute. Let's stay focused. Let's stay focused. Brothers and sisters, this is why I'm not taking the DNA test. The reason I'm not taking the DNA test is, as I've told you before, most of the African DNA testing companies, sell your DNA sample to white corporations. And I believe that was partially developed from African DNA samples. That's why Dr. Umar will not take the swab. I will not take the swab. I rely on divination to let me know which nation I come from. I said I depend on divination to let me know which nation I come from. I depend on divination to let me know which nation I come from. I'm not taking the DNA test, brothers and sisters, because I believe the DNA test is a front for African people to voluntarily give their DNA to the military-industrial complex for biological weapons research. I believe the African DNA movement is a government front to get every African in America to voluntarily give their DNA up so that it can go straight to the government and they can use it for biological weapons research. AIDS, Ebola, cancer, bird flu, swine flu. I'm not taking the swab. I want to find out where I come from. I get divination. I'm not giving them my damn DNA. I'm not doing it, brothers and sisters. I'm not doing it. Here we go again. But Dr. Umar, a lot of Europeans have taken the test. Here we go again, worrying about what white folks are doing. Why is it every time we talk about what they do to us, we got to bring up white folks? Why are you so in love with them? I talk about special ed. White kids go to special ed. I talk about Ritalin. White kids take Ritalin. I talk about DNA testing. White people take DNA. Yes, they do. The white special ed kids are not being mistreated the way the black special ed kids are being treated. Why can't you get it through your thick skull that even though it may have the same name, it's a totally different game? The food they sell in your neighborhood, are you telling me it's the same food they sell in their neighborhood? Are you that stupid that just because something got the same name, it means it's the same thing? Just because it has the same name doesn't mean it's the same thing, you coons. When are you going to understand, overstand, and understand that the same name does not mean the same thing? You Negropeans are crazy. You Negropeans are crazy. You Negropeans are crazy, brothers and sisters. You Negropeans are crazy. I got some Negropeans on the feed right now trying to defend their slave masters. Trying to defend their slave masters, brothers and sisters. I don't need to know where I come from. I know I'm African, brothers and sisters. I'm from all over Africa. My ancestors came from everywhere, brothers and sisters. I am the Pan-African tribe, brothers and sisters. I don't need to know that. You got 2 grandparents. You got 4 great-grandparents. You got 8 great-great-grandparents. You got 16 great-great-great-grandparents. You got 32 great-great-great-great-grandparents. You got 64 great-great-great-great-great-grandparents. By the time you go back, you have thousands of grandparents. You come from everywhere in Africa. What are you talking about? They took us from the north. They took us from the west. They took us from the south. They took us from central. They took us from the east. They took us from everywhere. Okay, here we go with an Africone. You're from West Africa, not north or east. Eileen, you're totally incorrect. You probably don't know your history, my dear sister, because if you knew your history, you would understand that the original Africans of North Africa were traded, sold by the Arabs into the transatlantic slave trade. And if you knew your history, you would also know that once the British and the Americans began to suppress the West African slave trade after 1808, the slave ships would go around South Africa. They would buy South Africans into slavery, and then they would go all the way around the Horn of Africa up to East Africa, and they would buy our Ethiopian, our Eritrean brothers and sisters in slavery, our Somali brothers and sisters in slavery. That's why you can still see the Somali phenotype, the East African phenotype. You can still find the East African phenotype amongst American Africans, because many African people, particularly during the suppression of the slave trade years from 1800 to about 1860, many of the enslaved Africans were smuggled into the United States, into the Caribbean, into Central and South America by way of East Africa. So like I said, my beautiful African sister, I don't know why we speak without knowing the history. We come from all over the continent. Willie Lynch is alive. South Africans, be careful. They're about to bring Omicron. South Africa is a test lab. South Africa is a test lab. If a lot of our brothers and sisters die, and we hope they don't, God, we hope you prevent that. But if a lot of our South African brothers and sisters die from the Omicron will mysteriously pop up in the United States. The Omicron will mysteriously pop up in Haiti. It's going to pop up in Brazil. It's going to pop up in America. Keep your eyes on the South African epidemic of Omicron. Keep your eyes on the South African epidemic of Omicron. If it is successful at taking black life in South Africa, they're going to take it everywhere. They're not done killing black people. They are not done killing black people. And your Congressional Black Caucus, your national black leaders, they're not going to say nothing about it. They're afraid to speak up against the white power structure. Eli, will this generation finish the liberation struggle? We hope so, brother Eli. To the one, how is India able to stay untouchable? They're not untouchable. The untouchables are the descendants of the original Africans that civilized India. They call them untouchable because the British colonized India, and during the colonization period of India, they taught Indians to worship white people, just like they teach Africans to worship white people. So the untouchables became the blue, black, purple original Africans of India that all the other brown skin supremacy Indians don't like. They call them untouchables because they too black, because the white man taught the Indians to hate black skin, just like they taught you to hate black skin. L. Wood, keep enlightening the messages. Thank you, L. Wood. Jakari, thank you, Jakari, hitting the Cash App family. FDMG shall be, FDMG can be, FDMG will be, brothers and sisters. We are working hard on the school. Keep the school in your prayers. Keep me in your prayers. Let's stay strong. Let's stay focused. Let's be victorious, brothers and sisters. Let's get the job done. Let's get the job done, brothers and sisters. On that note, I love y'all. If you need to reach me, 215-989-9858. If you need to reach me, 215-989-9858. Donate to the school, $ FDMG School, PayPal.me, FDMG Academy. Personal donations, $ Dr. Umar Johnson. Zelle, you could use my cell number if you want to make a personal Zelle donation, 215-989-9858, 215-989-9858, or PayPal, paypal.me/Umar the Psychologist, but always donate to the school first, $ FDMG School, and paypal.me/FDMG Academy. I love y'all. Peace and Pan-Africanism, Black Power. I will be back to finish the 1970s, brothers and sisters. We did not finish the 1970s timeline. We must finish the 1970s timeline. Let's get FDMG done. Black College and Consciousness Tour, 2nd annual FDMG Festival, 1st annual Unapologetically African Awards. Let's get it. Peace and Pan-Africanism, Garveyism, or good back.